Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Tickets are now available for the annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon, held Thursday, October 19th at the Sheraton Grand Phoenix. Join media industry and community leaders in honoring award-winning co-anchors and co-managing editors of the PBS NewsHour, Judy Woodruff and the late Gwen Ifill. To learn more or to purchase tickets, call 602-496-0482 or visit cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World. When you want to be more connected, friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, watch us online. Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
Next time on the Vietnam War.
The torch has been passed.
I was sure that we were right to be in Vietnam because it started under Kennedy, and to me, JFK was God.
South Vietnam's government comes under fire.
On our side, our leaders were corrupt and incompetent.
As the Viet Cong score their first major victory.
They demonstrated that you could resist the Americans and win.
When the Vietnam War continues.
Tuesday night at 9:30 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
Ironwood Cancer and Research Centers, personalized cancer care through medical oncology, radiation oncology, and radiology services, focusing on emotional, physical, and social support, outsmarting cancer one patient at a time.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
The Arizona Board of Regents holding its first public meeting since a tuition lawsuit and basketball bribery scandal. We're live in Flagstaff.
And is Senator Jeff Flake once again the lone Republican standing? He talks about being at odds with his party and the future of the conservative movement.
Plus, prepare to be scanned. ADOT is using facial recognition to stop identity theft across the state.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Lysandra Marquez.
And I'm Blakely McHugh. Thank you for joining us. The Arizona Board of Regents is wrapping up its first meeting since news of a basketball scandal at the University of Arizona broke. But that's not the only issue the board is dealing with. Cronkite News reporter Emily Richardson is live in Flagstaff for the meeting. Emily?
The board is also addressing the lawsuit filed by State Attorney General Mark Brnovich regarding tuition rates. Both of these items were added to the executive sessions agenda, which means it was not open to the public or the media. We tried to catch up with the board members before the meeting to ask about the charges against Wildcat assistant basketball coach Emmanuel Richardson, accused of fraud and corruption for taking bribes to influence student athletes. They would only refer to the statement they made yesterday. Regent Bill Rittenauer did address the legal action. The lawsuit claims the 3 public universities are in violation of the state constitution, which says the schools should be free or nearly as free as possible.
So in the South, they refer to the Civil War as the recent unpleasantness. So all I'm going to say about our recent unpleasantness is that it has focused the spotlight on the Board of Regents and the universities as to how we do things and why we do things and what we're charged. I welcome that debate. There needs to be a healthy discussion of all of that, because we have a great story to tell.
The next full meeting of the Board of Regents is scheduled in November at the U of A campus in Tucson. In Flagstaff, Emily Richardson, Cronkite News.
There's a new candidate throwing her hat in the ring to challenge Senator Jeff Flake. Representative Kristen Sinema announced her candidacy just moments ago in this video. The Democrat currently represents the state's 9th House district. She's held the seats since 2012. Flake already has a challenger in the race, State Senator Kelly Ward.
Arizona Senator Jeff Flake delivered a strong message on the need for cooperation in tackling important issues like immigration. The senator sat down for an interview at the Washington Ideas Conference. Reporter Fraser Allen Best takes us there.
It was more than 5 years ago when Arizona Senator Jeff Flake helped former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords in a halting return to Congress after she survived a near-fatal shooting. For Flake, the story is still relevant today.
She was a Democrat. I'm a Republican. She wanted to stand up when President Obama would have the applause lines, but she couldn't stand up on her own very well, so I helped her up, which left me a lone Republican standing.
Lone Republican standing is not an uncommon position for Flake, who has found himself sometimes at odds with his party in the past year. He didn't back down today at the Washington Idea Forum.
Today, I think the party's been compromised by populism, isolationism, by anti-immigration fervor, nativism, and I don't think that it may excite, certain people, and you might be able to win an election. It's called populism for a reason. It's popular sometimes, but it's not a governing philosophy.
Flake, who made the call for civility central to his recent book, Conscience of a Conservative, spoke right after Nancy Pelosi, a fierce partisan, but one who was able to negotiate recently with President Donald Trump.
He's the president of the United States, and if we can find our common ground, now we want to. And the Dreamers have so much support in the country.
As he took the stage after Pelosi, Flake cited immigration as one of the many issues where Democrats and Republicans can't start a healthy discussion by viewing each other as opponents. Stressing the theme of his book, Flake says incivility makes for bad politics.
And my big concern is that if we continue to vilify and assign bad motives to the other side, then we'll never solve the big issues that we need to solve.
In Washington, Fraser Allen Best, Cronkite News.
Arizona Representative Tom O'Halloran introduced the Taxpayers Don't Incur Meaningless Expenses, or Taxpayers Dime Act, today. The act would strengthen rules against wasteful government spending, bringing greater transparency to how taxpayer money is used or abused in government officials' travels. The proposals come after U.S. Health Secretary Tom Price was exposed for using public funding for costly charter flights. Price apologized today and said he'll reimburse the government.
The Arizona Department of Transportation is cracking down on identity theft with facial recognition software. I went down to the Motor Vehicle Department to find out how it works. Arizona Department of Transportation began using a facial recognition technology in 2015 to protect Arizonans from identity theft. It's a process that begins when a person goes to register or renew a driver's license.
Once you get your photo taken, that photo is then run through the database and it's matched up against all the other photos in the database, which there's like 18 or 19 million. And it will try to find similar matches.
If the system finds a similar match, the MVD will put a temporary hold on the ID before it prints a permanent license, and an investigation will begin.
There have been over 100 identity theft cases brought to court by ADOT using this facial recognition technology, the most recent being an 89-year-old using his deceased brother's identity to cash Social Security checks.
He had an ID in his name and an ID in his brother's name, and so it came up that these photos look very similar, so we did our review, we looked them over. Our detectives have FBI training in facial rec, and they determined, yeah, that's the same guy.
And since this is a fairly new technology, ASU professor Charles Loftus says there are some improvements that can be made to make this more effective.
It's a new system. I foresee agreements between states to be able to use different states' databases.
ADOT hopes this technology will prevent people from becoming victims of identity theft.
We want to deter those identity thieves. Don't try it because our system is going to catch you.
Although Harding says that they do their best to inform residents of the facial recognition technology, Professor Loftus has concerns about the privacy of these photos and says there could be legal issues concerning how long the photos are kept.
The Arizona Department of Transportation is also offering new classes as part of a training program specifically designed for Mexican commercial truck drivers. The classes have been an unexpected hit, and Cronkite News reporter Jackie Lopez visited the border on both sides of Nogales to see exactly why.
It's inspections like these that help keep Arizona's roads safe, and now ADOT has found a new way to make them easier for thousands of Mexican truck drivers who cross into the state every day. What started with 4 sessions has now expanded to 8 in several border cities, including this one in Mexican side of Nogales. The classes focus on truck safety and standards. They're taught by ADOT officials in Espanol, and the students are all Mexicans, like Miguel Villegas Ramirez from Sonora. He says sometimes drivers cross the border in trucks that simply are not safe.
A lot of the times we would enter with a flat tire, or I don't know, we would be missing a pin or a cap screw. We wouldn't secure the load properly.
Villegas says some drivers will also complain about the penalty fees once they reach ADOT inspection sites, not understanding why they were being fined.
When you come here and you find out what the officials base their inspections, violation tickets, or penalties, you understand that what they say is correct.
During this session we visited, 60 people signed up. They're having to take a class 2 days in a row from 9 till 5. On their second day, they must pass a test to get their certificate. ADOT Director John Holokoski says the new program has received a lot of good reaction from the Mexican drivers.
The feedback has been very positive because I think it takes a lot of uncertainty out of the drivers' lives.
Another new way to connect drivers and ADOT officials has been through the use of the WhatsApp phone application.
People who take the course automatically receive a right to be in a WhatsApp group or to have contact with an official, and you can ask them questions directly.
He says that allows him to be better prepared for inspections and ready to drive safely through Arizona's highways.
Definitely, all this can help us have better relations with our neighbor to the north.
In the Nogales border with Mexico, Jackie Lopez, Cronkite News.
The next set of classes offered by ADOT will be in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico on October 10th and the 11th. The classes are free and open to all Mexican trailer drivers.
The Trump administration announced it will waive the Jones Act, allowing desperately needed supplies to reach Puerto Rico faster. The decision comes after days of criticism for the administration's apparent lack of action as the island reels from Hurricane Maria. 97% of the island is still without power, and roughly 50% of the 3.4 million people don't have access to running water. Speaker Paul Ryan said that federal disaster relief accounts will get nearly $7 billion to help Puerto Rico by the end of the week.
Some help is on the way to some of the youngest hurricane victims in Texas and Florida.
Today we have probably about 20,000 diapers here so far. Our goal is 100,000 diapers. Ultimately, I'd love to collect 200,000.
We have trucks going daily to locations in Texas, locations in Florida. So we jumped at the chance to help the cause.
The Diaper Bank of Central Arizona will be donating half of monetary and diaper donations to hurricane victims. The other half will stay here to help local families. For the full list of diaper drive locations, check out our Cronkite News post on Facebook and Twitter.
Native American tribes have a unique status as sovereign nations within the United States.
And this means they have their own justice system. Coming up on Cronkite News, how tribal courts work to best serve their communities.
Plus, it's World Rabies Day, how to ensure you and your furry friends stay healthy.
When a story comes in the morning, we're out the door as fast as we can go.
But it's also great to spend more time in communities and produce projects.
From the borderlands to the cities, the reservations, and even the state capitol, we want to get to the heart of the matter.
When the lights come on in the studio, we know our hard work is about to pay off.
We love what we do here at Cronkite News.
We're proud to tell the stories of our state.
Now more than ever, it's important to have a trusted news source, and that's Cronkite News.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in! Arizona State wins! Keeping one deep, and it is caught! Jalen Strong! Do you believe
it? There are 500,000 diesel school buses across the country, each one emitting fumes that can pose a threat to school children. Cronkite News reporter Trevor Fay went to Capitol Hill to learn about a push to change that through the Clean Buses for Healthy Niños program.
But when Axel Vargas Sanchez looks at it, he sees a health hazard to kids. That's why he is working with the organization Chispa AZ to replace the diesel buses with a more eco-friendly alternative.
I ride the bus every day to school, as well as my little brother, and I want us to be in a safe environment and not have to breathe in any toxic air.
So Vargas and Chispa AZ want the state to replace old diesel-powered school buses with electric buses to reduce toxic emissions. They're calling on the state to use the $57 million it will receive from the settlement of a nationwide emissions lawsuit against Volkswagen.
Help us join this fight. Help us keep up the momentum that our communities have built and will continue to drive by working with your governors, asking your governors to use this VW settlement money for clean buses for healthy niños.
The League of Conservation Voters has Chispa chapters across the country pushing for clean buses from the total $2.7 billion settlement, which has to be used to clean the air. Vargas Sanchez said he and his classmates are going door to door with the fight.
I actually have a committee down in my high school, and we meet up every Wednesday, and we go out and canvass, we knock on doors, we make phone calls, and we get them to call Governor Doug Ducey and tell him that they want cleaner buses.
State officials have until mid-December to say how they'll spend the VW money. In the meantime, more than 21,000 Arizonans have signed a national Chispa petition calling for the electric switch. In Washington, Trevor Fay, Cronkite News.
Tribal Justice, a documentary following the lives of two chief tribe judges in Arizona and California, hopes to shed a light on how tribal courts really work. Cronkite News reporter Courtney Malley spoke with local tribal leaders about changes they hope to see.
Law students, professors, and tribal members gathered in downtown Phoenix to view Tribal Justice, a documentary hoping to shed light on common issues seen on reservations, from lack of federal funding to guardianship appeals. Claudette White, one of the judges featured in the documentary, says she'd like to see changes outside of Indian country.
I hope for more collaboration with our state partners, state court, state service providers. I'm hoping that they look into tribal courts to see the kind of work that we're doing and maybe take some of those models, work with us closer to figure out how we can address common issues affecting all of our members.
Some of the issues facing Native populations include big differences between the tribal and state courts and also lack of economic resources. One big difference is that inside a tribal justice courtroom, peacemaking is normally the way to achieving resolution, rather than punitive punishment for those in trouble with common law.
The federal and state courts have a lot to learn from what tribal judges do. They're innovative, they're caring, and they work, which is the most important point.
For active tribal court members, this documentary is opening the door for what they say are reoccurring issues for the youth in their community.
It's connected to a lot of different issues like economics, jobs, crime, and drugs. And hopefully it helps raise these conversations and keeps people talking about what we can do to help fix the problem.
And while the documentary is one way to bring awareness to the issues they face, there are tribal members who say they need help now.
There's still plenty out there, who don't have their voice heard or, they don't have the means.
In Phoenix, Courtney Malley, Cronkite News.
Those who attended the screening say they hope to see more stories out in the open about other tribal justice issues, including racism and sexism on reservations. Arizona farms bring in more than $4 billion in revenue.
But one rancher in Nogales says his environmental impact is just as important as profits. Coming up on Cronkite News, the steps he's taking to make cattle ranching more sustainable.
And more on your weekend temperatures and full 7-day forecast coming up next.
Tickets are now available for the annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon, held Thursday, October 19 at the Sheraton Grand Phoenix. Join media industry and community leaders in honoring award-winning co-anchors and co-managing editors of the PBS NewsHour, Judy Woodruff and the late Gwen Ifill. To learn more or to purchase tickets, call 602-496-0482 or visit cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon.
Today marks World Rabies Day. Here in Arizona, the number of rabies cases is on the rise, from 70 cases in 2013 to more than 150 last year. Sydney Eisenberg reports on how one county is using today to protect their furry citizens.
Today is actually World Rabies Day. Did you know that?
Not really.
It's not a well-known holiday, but Pinal County Animal Care and Control is using today to spread awareness by offering free rabies vaccines with the purchase of a license. Many Pinal County residents are taking full advantage of the offer.
It's been over 100. I know I did about 80 this morning.
And getting your pet vaccinated helps your whole community.
If you vaccinate at least 80% of the dogs in an area, you will never get a full-blown rabies outbreak.
According to the Arizona Department of Health Services, in 2016 there were 108 confirmed rabies cases found in humans and domestic animals. As of September 22nd, there have already been 74 cases of possible exposure to humans and domestic animals.
Main carrier is skunk, second most common is the bat, third is the fox, the fourth I don't know, the fifth is the cow. The cow doesn't bite you. That's the good part about the cow.
William Gernon says he makes sure to bring his dogs in for their shots.
They're like our kids. They are our kids.
Not very friendly at all.
In Casa Grande, Sydney Eisenberg, Cronkite News.
Lysandra, have you noticed the weather's been cooling down around the state?
I have. Now let's go to Holly Bach in the Weather Center with a look at this weekend's forecast.
We are currently sitting at 89 degrees right now here in Phoenix. We did see a high of 94. However, it didn't feel too bad outside. We saw sunny skies and humidity around 10%. Going into our weekend, we're going to see similar temperatures just below 100 degrees. And Sunday, it will be partly cloudy, so that will cool us down a little bit. And going into the week, same type of temperatures. We're going to be up there in the 90s with lows in the low 70s, which will give us those cool evenings. It's that time of year when lots of people who work outside feel a little relief, including southern Arizona ranchers. I met one who's using sustainable cattle ranching near Nogales.
Just try to be smarter than a cow, which has been a huge challenge to me.
Dean Fish's bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees in animal science and reproductive physiology show he has the book smarts at least over his herd. Fish says there are 3 keys when striving to become better with sustainability in ranching: economic, environmental, and social.
I want to continue to stay in business. You know, in the livestock business, you're not going to become wealthy, but if you can make a fair living, I think that's my goal.
The environmental standpoint:
I want to leave this land in better shape than when I became the manager of it, became the caretaker of it.
And the socially acceptable standpoint:
you know, so we want to create a low stress situation. We want to make sure the cows are comfortable and that we're taking the proper care of those and doing a good job with that and producing beef for America.
Ranchers like Dean are working hard to implement sustainable practices, including water harvesting and pasture rotation on ranches just like this.
The more that we learn about the science of sustainably using land in cattle production, the more effective we can be, and the less the risk that we're going to do something irreversible that we're going to regret in the future.
With genetics and genomics coming into play, Dean buys bulls that he is able to obtain background information on, such as their ancestors' birth and weaning weights.
We can even finer tune those selection criteria based on what our goals are. You know, and again, you know, ultimately our goal is to produce a safe, wholesome, tasty, nutritious product that's going to go on America's plates.
Dean raises these Angus-based cows until they are 7 to 9 months old. Once they have reached the right size and wean age, he markets them through the livestock auction.
Probably the key to success for a livestock producer is to continue to seek out that knowledge, continue to strive to become better producers at whatever system they're doing. There's no one size fits all.
In Nogales, Holly Bach, Cronkite News.
The Copa Short Film Festival is coming back to the Valley for its 2nd year.
And some local high school students have a unique opportunity to get involved. Coming up on Cronkite News, how these young film enthusiasts are getting festival ready.
I'm Bill Moyers. I've been around a long time and I've seen it all. So I can say with a certain authority that public affairs reporting is more important now than ever. It's absolutely crucial for journalism education to continue our legacy of protecting American democracy. Objectivity, fairness, holding the powerful accountable, finding the truth as well as we can. These are the hallmarks of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Students here are transforming the news industry and honoring the integrity of the school's namesake, the Cronkite School at ASU, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Hopeful filmmakers got a chance to hone in their craft all before Valley Film Festival kicks off. The Copa Short Film Festival is in its second year of competition. Monica Sampson introduces us to the participants. Some of them are high school students.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really done anything like that before, so when it was just given to me, it was like crazy.
Poston Butte High School senior Marista Sextro spent her weekend working on her first ever short film and plans on entering it into the festival. She's attending the workshop ahead of the Copa Film Festival to improve her skills.
Having the opportunity to start it at such like a young age, I think it's great.
And that's exactly what Shelley Gillespie, executive director and co-founder of the festival, thinks too. Gillespie said she hopes that by bringing workshops to high school students, it creates learning tools for better films.
And it's thrilling to see that somebody, you almost can see the light bulb go on. Oh, this is how I do this. And so I love getting people excited about what they do. That's why we're educating.
That light bulb moment went off today for Sextro.
Striking.
When she was forced to go out of her comfort zone, from writing to being in front of the camera.
Yes, we all have.
Sextro's takeaway from the workshop?
There's no bad ideas. Because I remember when I would always be so scared, like, oh, nobody's gonna like that idea, it's stupid. Just throw it out there, because more than likely it's actually a good idea, or somebody else can like help turn it into a good idea.
Should Sextro choose to compete in the film festival, she will be entering the ranks of filmmakers from Norway, Italy, China, France, and even Papua New Guinea. In Santan Valley, Monica Sampson, Cronkite News.
This year, the festival has opened up registration to include a Native American as well as a high school category. The deadline to apply is October 13th, and the festival is in February.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, a DACA special. Jose Cardenas, the host of Horizonte, will join me as we focus on the future of dreamers now that the president has rescinded the DACA deportation protection program.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour. Sexism in the tech industry. Ellen Powell describes her fight for a more inclusive Silicon Valley. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Hospice of the Valley, medical, social, and spiritual care for patients nearing end of life, and support for their families. A not-for-profit community hospice. HOV.org.
Next time on the Vietnam War, the fall of Saigon, a lasting memorial, and the legacy of war.
What was it all about? Was it worth it?
Don't miss the final chapter of the Vietnam War.
Explore new ideas and new worlds here on